Hey there, welcome. My name's Dana Damara, and you have landed on Astrocast. This is your full moon report for the full moon in Aquarius, happening on August 11th at 6:35 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:35 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's a huge full moon. It is our last full moon of 2022. And we've got some energy rustling up, some unexpected surprises and unexpected events with Uranus. I want to share my screen with you because I want to just drop right in. It's a really beautiful full moon. So here's our picture. I want to start off by saying that, as an astrologist, I find that there is this beautiful linear way of looking at things, right? Like we look at this screen and there really is an explanation and a linear reason for all of the events happening in astrology. It's gorgeous, right? But there's also a sense of intuitiveness and a sense of just dropping in energetically to see how some of these energies play out in our world. And there's a fine line between projecting our feelings as an astrologist and like peeling back our energy and really saying, hey, this is what's happening in the world. This is how you can see the astrology, and not projecting our own thoughts. So I always try to do my best to share this with you and not try to project what I'm feeling. So I hope you get that. And at the same time, this energy is so indicative of what's going on in the world. You see all those red lines. It's very tense energy. There's a lot of shifting in the world right now. Systems are crumbling, literally crumbling from our existence. The way we do things or have been doing things for generations is changing. And, thanks to the technology era, we kind of have to go along with it, right? In some ways, we can step out of that wheel of fortune, but it's really happening. And, when we fight that, when we fight change, when we fight the one thing that is guaranteed, which is impermanence, we end up swimming upstream. And this full moon is going to create some change. So I want to just show you a couple things here. So we have a full moon because the moon and the sun are across from one another. Here's the sun in Leo at 19 degrees. Here's the moon in Aquarius at 19 degrees. And there's good old Saturn. Hello, Saturn, sitting within 3 degrees of the moon. I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about these three little planets, this stellium here, sitting here in the sign of Taurus. It's the North Node, which is all about our karma, future karma, where we're going. Uranus is unexpected changes, and Mars is the initiator. So we have some pretty powerful energy that's been culminating since June 14th, right? So that was that super full moon back in June, and we've been working with all these super moons, like bam, 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 June, July, August, third and final full moon. And so we're reaching a point of a culmination of our journey, that things that we've been working on. And so whatever that is for you, we may be starting to stir the pot back in June. I know where I was in June. I was in Italy, planning the next retreat. Just start to maybe take a moment and ask yourself, like, what have I been working on, or what has been showing up, even because maybe you don't even know what you've been working on, but what's been showing up for me since the month of June that I've been focused on. I also know for me, I've been focused a lot on career and where I really want to go and what do I really want to do, and what things can I let go of, and how do I want to focus? So just, turn that energy into yourself and ask yourself, how can I shift and change? Because this, Aquarius is all about change. Aquarius is like newness. Aquarius is thinking outside the box, and so is Uranus. And Uranus is in Taurus, right? So this is bringing together the ruler of Aquarius, which is Uranus and Saturn. It's this big square of the year, and it's activated one more time in the month of October when we have Saturn directly squaring Uranus. It's a big deal. Don't think that it's not. I called out the theme this week, the word, we'll stop share. I called out the theme frequency, and I did that for a few reasons. One is because we have Lionsgate portal on Monday. We've been sitting in the Lionsgate portal for a while when Sirius creates an alignment with the sun, really shining some beautiful, gorgeous, loving energy to us. But also, no matter what's going on in the world, the most important thing we have besides our breath is our frequency. And the only thing you have control over is your reaction that comes from your frequency. It doesn't come from planning, it comes from your frequency. So if your frequency, this undercurrent is like vibrating at an anxious level, you will come off as being anxious. Does that make sense? So pay attention to your frequency. I'm going to share my screen one more time, make sure I share the right screen. Beautiful. This full moon is going to trigger this T-square. So if you see this, you've got, bam, 19 degrees with Uranus, 19 degrees with Saturn, and the moon square in this little discombobulation of all of that energy. This is about letting the past go. Like, I'm even out of breath when I think about it. Really, truly letting the past go. Aquarius is the future. Saturn is the past. Saturn is super active in this full moon. And all the energy wants us to move in alignment and in accordance with our highest self. That doesn't mean that you have to sit in meditation for 25 hours just to feel good. It means that you use your breath and your path and your day and your week and your month to just be in alignment with your soul's course. And if this isn't happening for you, it will come to light with this full moon. You've probably already felt it in little lessons that maybe are showing up for you. And, Saturn is a little harsh sometimes. Saturn just wants what's best for you. And when we're willing to show up and do the work and take ownership for the direction of our life, Saturn's going to help you. Saturn's going to say, great job, let's go. But if you're not, and you're kind of like, well, it's his fault or her fault or this fault, or that's not me, or no, I can't shift, or you're swimming upstream with fists in hand, Saturn's going to say, okay, dude, we're just going to stop here and we're going to have a little discussion. So just pay attention. That stellium that I have highlighted there in the sign of Taurus, this was direct or exact, I should say, back on July 31st and August 1st. And so this is a shift that's been ongoing. Uranus is, and I did a recording for this, Uranus is change, Mars is initiator, North Node future. So now that energy, think like they all had a little meeting. Hold on. They all had a little meeting. They were all together and they were they were just enmeshing all their energy. Now they're starting to disentangle from themselves, from each other, and they're going to start moving. So that energy of change is going to begin to unravel. It's going to start to show itself. It's going to start to point you in certain directions. And your job is to align your frequency with your soul, and you'll be carried along the right path. Maybe. Who knows? I could be making all this up, also keep in mind when I looked at the numerology, right? So numerology is important. 9 + 1 is 10, which whittles down to 1. 1 is new beginnings, 10 is manifestation. So, we can read into this all we want, but just understand that, it's a powerful time. We've got 6 planets in fixed signs. Moon and Saturn are in Aquarius. Venus and the sun are both in Leo. And then, you know, this is the energy that brings us to, it's like fixed signs are very, you know, they're stable, they're not changeable, right? So if you're feeling this sense of like an unwillingness to change or an unwillingness to shift, know that Uranus is going to just continue to rattle that cage of of change. Come on, let it go, let it go, let it go. It would be good to maybe play that song from Frozen and sing it for a little bit. New breakthroughs can happen when you do that. You know, I mean, if we just stay in our shell or in our cage of what we feel is right or true, we miss out on a whole host of so many opportunities. So just allow yourself to go with the flow, right? You know, again, I can't say it enough to focus on your frequency, focus on, you know, where you derive that beautiful energy that sustains you, that inspires you, that gives you the juju or the mojo, if you will, to move forward on your path, and just kind of disentangle yourself from the things and the people that don't really support that anymore. It's okay. Like, we grow out of relationships, you know, and I there's some silly meme out there that basically is like, I miss the girl you were, you know. Well, I'm not the girl I was, because, well, I'm a woman now, number one. And number two, like, if you were the same person that you were like 10 years ago, that would be weird, right? Like, we go through life learning and growing and adapting and changing and pulling in wisdom and letting things go and seeing we're sorry and going, that's just not me anymore. But what happens, I think, is when we run into people, or we are experiencing old relationships, right? Sometimes we work for the same boss for 20 years, and that person is like, well, why don't you want to do this anymore? Or, but that's not who you used to be. Or, that's not you. That's not who you are. That's not who you are. I know you. I've known you a long time. Okay. Maybe I'm different. You know, it's that energy. So if you're feeling that sense of like, well, but you really don't know who I am. I'm different now. And maybe you haven't said anything. Maybe you've kind of kept it to yourself. Like, okay, I'll just let them think whatever they want or whatever. Now's the time to say, I'm a little different. Here's who I am. This is what I desire. Can we keep moving along the same path and allowing myself to stand in that truth? And can we not keep, you know, bringing in the past, right? Because we can say, I don't want to talk about the past anymore. But if we're surrounded by people that knew us in the past, it's hard, right? Hope this makes sense. Let me just do a couple little things here. Moon conjunct Saturn. So when the moon, I'll pull up the picture. Moon conjunct Saturn is right over here. When the moon conjunct Saturn, this is really about taking your intuition seriously. This is giving you a little bit more opportunities for self-control, sense of duty, emotional commitment is magnified, right? So just really be in alignment with those emotions and your frequency. When the sun is opposite Saturn, right, which it is because the moon is next to it, so it's only right that the sun's going to be opposite. This will give you the power you need to dissipate any tendency on procrastinating. Get active, like set your schedule for the week. I'm going to work out on this day. I'm going to do this, and then like get up and do it. Like, that's just it. Mars wants you to move. Mars, see, here's Mars over here. Mars wants you to move. Mars wants you to do your thing. Not, I don't know how to say this without sounding rude, but Mars doesn't really care about what anyone else thinks. And so why should you? Moon's going to square Uranus. So here's Moon up here, as you know, and then Uranus is down here. This is all about yearning for freedom, and things are happening fast. Change is happening fast. Opportunities are coming fast. don't miss them being in the inappropriate frequency. You're going to miss them. You're going to miss them. Don't do that. One more thing I want to say, I think it's just one more thing. Moon is going to sextile Chiron. So y'all see Chiron down here, right? Remember that Chiron sits in Aries until 2026. You know, it's like, Chiron's been there since 2018. Usually Chiron sits in a sign for like a year and a half, but no, not Aries. It's such a long time, but this is all about healing. And this is really about you coming through with great compassion and forgiveness. You know, the energy now, the way that this energy is sitting is the opportunity for healing is really enhanced. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Just, I guess, for an overall report, right? Allow yourself to take the time and feel into your frequency. Allow yourself some time to forgive yourself for the times in the past when you were like less than who you really wanted to be. And just start to eradicate and let go of the people and the thoughts, really, because that's really what's bringing those people to you, is your thoughts. Let go of the thoughts that don't serve you anymore. And I know I say that a lot. I hear a lot of coaches say it. I know it sounds so, you know, cliche, but you know, you really have to notice them. You have to be able to notice them. I'll give you an example and you can use it if you want. Okay. So anytime I hear myself lately, like judging or coming down on someone, or like just talking like, you know, that whatever, right? I stop myself, and those of you who know me, you have been with me when I've done this. Okay. So this is true. I stop myself and I go, oh, whew, Dana, what would love do? Come on, girl, what would love do? And sometimes I have to go like this because I can't quite get there on my own. You know, what would love do? What would love say? And then move from that place, because you're rewiring. We're human. Anybody who's out there saying that they're perfect and they have it all figured out, and you know, every day they like start here and everything is beautiful and lovely. Okay, great. But most of us are human and we're trying. So when you hear something that you just know doesn't serve you anymore, pause. What would love do? What would love do? And then try to just disentangle yourself from those things. Such a good week. Super excited. Happy full moon. If you want more information about how to read your chart or how to compare your chart to like what's going on in the planetary orchestra, go to myastropast.com and you'll get all the information there. Thank you so much. You guys, it's so beautiful. Have such a gorgeous day. Namaste.